Coming up, they say that jealousy is the green-eyed monster. And when it comes to families, this couldn't be more true. Do you find yourself looking at other families and wondering why you don't have the perfect family yourself? Well, tonight's guest's story will inspire you. He'll tell you that there's no such thing as a perfect family, but that through faith we can build the family that we want with what we have. Stay tuned to hear the full story.
Good evening to all of you. We are starting our program Finding Answers. And tonight we have here Lawrence with us. And he has a special story to talk to you. Maybe you're watching this program right now and you feel like you don't have what we say a happy home, a good family, a good environment among your family members. Lawrence, good evening.
Good evening, Paul.
How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
So tell me, what was the main problem in your life?
I think the main issue in my life was regarding my family. Things was not the way it's meant to be. And over time, it affected me. But I didn't really understand how to see beyond that point. But, you know, through taking action in my faith, I started to actually see that there is value in family, which I never had before.
So you thought before your family didn't have value to you?
No.
You didn't consider your mother, your father, your parents?
No.
You didn't?
Actually, my friends was like my family. I saw them as my brother, my sister, my dad. Everything I saw in my friends, and my family was just there.
So you replaced your family, your blood family, let's say like this, and you called your friend's family?
Yes.
But you didn't have a good environment at home?
No, well, I was fostered. So I was put into care based on some things that happened when I was younger. So of course, I left the environment of my mother to be with another family.
Okay.
But as time went on, you know, you kind of grow older and you mature. But then, you know, I still didn't see family. I just said, oh, it's my mom.
Wonderful.
That's it, yeah.
Stay tuned because we are going to talk to Lawrence about his life. He's going to show you how he was able to turn all these things around. So we are going to watch a live testimony now. And when we come back, we're going to talk to Rachel.
When I came to this country, I had my goals, my aspirations, but I found that instead of moving, instead of progressing, I was actually almost like firefighting. I was dealing with one crisis after another. And there was one point when I was actually studying part-time, and I had doing two jobs. And I remember that's when I started like having panic attacks, because literally every morning I'd wake up and I'd be thinking, okay, where do I have to be next, you know? And I had enough because I felt as though for 6 months straight, I didn't have a single day of rest. And I felt like my body was beginning to break down. So I called one of the jobs and said I was not coming back. And it was pretty hard for me because it's not like I could make ends meet. So that was a pretty low point for me. Before coming to the church, I already had my relationship with God because I grew up in church, so I already had that church upbringing. But my life was still defeated because it's like I knew God, but I didn't see His promises being materialized in my life. So when I attended the church, I heard the pastor speaking, and he explained what was the cause of the problem, because one of the problems I found, and I didn't quite understand why, was that I was renting and I was literally moving. I was an ideal tenant, but I kept, you know, having to move from one location to another. So like I said, instead of progressing, I was literally just trying to maintain where I was. Also like moving from one job to another as well. And he began to explain what was behind it. So I started to understand what was the cause of my problem. And I started learning how to respond and how to deal with it. And then I began to see bit by bit my life progressing. Like, for example, I had like now a stable job, and, you know, like a proper job that would be able to, I was able to even to move to a place that instead of, I was flat sharing, and I was able to move to like my own place. I didn't own it, but I was able to rent a place that was now my own. So I actually started seeing progress in my life. Now, actually, I was single at the time. Now I'm married. But more, I have like, actually my husband and I, we've literally just purchased our own home. And I have an established job now, and I'm going to be promoted very soon, thank God. But most importantly, it's like my mindset has changed. I started to to respond differently to what I consider to be the problems. I actually now started seeing them as challenges, because now I was aware that I can actually respond and have victory. So my mindset has completely changed, and my life has really progressed as a result of that.
As you see, this testimony proves that you can turn your life around. Sometimes you feel a heavy burden in your shoulder. You know, I would like to talk to you that's watching us now. Maybe you got tuned into this program now, Finding Answers, and you have been searching. You know, you are switching channel all the time because you are looking for something. You are not happy with your family. You're not happy in your relationship. You feel like there is a void inside of you. I want to let you know that there is a way out. You know, we just talking to Lawrence that's going to give his testimony. You know, even though he considered more his friends, strangers, let's say like this, people that were not blood related, his family, than his own family. You know, sometimes you go through very difficult problems, even inside your house. Maybe you're watching us right now and you don't know what to do because your relationship with your mother, your relationship with your father, maybe with your daughters, your siblings, is not going well at all. And you feel frustrated. You feel like you don't have, you know, you think, I was born to suffer. No, you didn't. You were not born to suffer. You can be sure that if you are alive, it's because there is a way for you to find happiness. And we are going to prove to you to the testimony of Lawrence that is here with us tonight. Let's talk to our guest as well. Oh, sorry. Let's talk to Rachel that is here with us tonight. Good evening, Rachel.
Good evening. I like being called a guest. That's nice.
Yeah, always a guest in the program, right?
Refreshing, yeah, exactly.
So what do you have to say about the topic of tonight?
Well, obviously, as you were saying, Lawrence was in care. And I think it's important to note that you can actually build families from those close to you. It doesn't need to be blood families. Actually, I've been researching the world of foster care, and there is a huge need for foster carers in the UK. In fact, one charity states that a child comes into care in need of a fostering family every 20 minutes in the UK. So, I mean, that just goes to show how many children are in need, should I say, of a home. And I mean, there is a great need for people in the UK to foster teenagers and children with siblings in order to prevent them from being split up, which is something which causes huge problems later on in this child's life, or it can do anyway. I mean, I don't want to say it always does. But what are some of the myths that hold people back from fostering a child? Well, many people believe that they need to have a nuclear family set up to foster children. So, you know, the classic two parents and maybe a child as well, ready so that they've got a sibling. In fact, this actually isn't the case. You can be a single foster parent. It doesn't matter which gender you are, and legally there is no upper age limit on fostering. You also don't need to be a heterosexual couple. Homosexual couples are, of course, allowed to foster as well. Another reason many people believe they can't foster is because they aren't rich enough. But in fact, fostering isn't restricted to those with money. You're actually given a fostering allowance which helps you to look after this person, and it covers their expenses involved in caring for them. And if you're worrying about rented accommodation, that's okay too. You don't need to own your own home. So hopefully this has given you a bit more kind of clues or facts on fostering. It might have changed your views of whether or not you feel you could foster. Maybe it's something you've considered and sort of held yourself back from. But obviously tonight we will speak to our guest Lawrence, who has kind of first-hand experience of this. So we'll find out if he encountered any of this stereotyping and what he thinks on the topic. Do you have anything to add to that at all?
You know, I found impressive what you just said, because in UK, you know, there is a need of foster caring, right? But if you think carefully, what creates the problem is because there is no family. You know, people are not giving value to the word and the meaning of family. You know, you can't bring a child to the world just for the pleasure of having a child. You know, you can't be, sorry to say this straightforward, but you can't be a woman that says, no, I want to have a child. Okay, you have a child, and then? Do you thought about the future, or you're only thinking about the feeling and the emotion of having a child now? And this is what causes many children to grow up without an environment in the family. You know, I believe when you brought up with a family, right?
Yeah, I was, but it's very detrimental to a child's well-being, because, I mean, obviously this child is then often they're kind of put between different families. They'll spend some time with one family and then they'll go on to the next family, and it's very unstable kind of start. And it is very unfair on this child, because a lot of the time this child's then labelled as a sort of, you know, delinquent, or maybe they don't get the education they deserve, and it causes problems later in life, which then that child's blamed for. But actually a lot of this is out of their hands. So you can imagine it's very difficult for someone going through this.
Yeah, it's like a small, you know, snowball. It starts small, then it gets bigger as long it goes away. So if you're watching this program and maybe you are experiencing that kind of problem in your house, in your family, or maybe you are, or you came from a foster care situation and you know how tough it has been for you. But I want to let you know that it's possible to change that situation around, like Lawrence did. He discovered that through the power of faith, it was possible to change his situation around. And you too, you are watching us right now. I'm telling you, it's possible for your life to change. You don't need to carry this burden alone. If you're watching us and you say, I don't know what to do, well, let me give you 2 steps. First, you can email us at help@findinganswers.tv, share your problem with us, an advisor will enter in contact with you, and he will be praying to God in your behalf and help you so that you may know what to do and how to do it. Sometimes your problem is there in your life because you lack guidance, you lack direction. Because if you had it, I believe that your life would have changed already. And if it has not yet changed, it's because something is missing. And I always say there is a special ingredient missing. It's called, you know, intelligent faith. How can I come to God intelligently, not religiously, and see results? Or if you prefer, you can call us at 020-7686-6300, and we'll be in the other line to help you, to guide you, to talk to you. You have a voice, advice to help you with your problem. As well, Rachel, we have our media, right? Our social media.
Yes. You can get in touch with us. If you want to get in touch on Facebook, you can look up Finding Answers. And what you can do is you can either send us a private message, or you can post publicly on our page, maybe like one of our statuses, comment and let us know what you think. Because we sit here and we tell you, and we're talking to you out there, but we also want to hear from you. And even your comment will be reached by so many people that also might have been going through the same thing and might actually take your advice as well. So it is really worthwhile letting us know what you think of the show and each topic. You can also get in touch on Instagram. So if you follow us on Instagram, you will see all of the photos from behind the scenes, before the show, after the show, and members of the crew. You can also look up older episodes on YouTube. So after the episode tonight, you might be thinking, I want more Finding Answers. I don't blame you. You can look us up, as always, search Finding Answers on YouTube.
So I want to call your attention, because we're going to a short break now. But after this break, I want you to pay attention, because we are coming with a segment called It Is Possible. How someone, through the power of an intelligent faith, was able to turn her life around. Let's go for a short break. We come back with the It's Possible segment.
Do the maths. Changing your life is not as simple as changing your hairstyle, your shirt, or rearranging the furniture in your living room. You're talking about years of deep-rooted habits, behaviours and problems that are not going to change overnight. Many may say, think positively, but the trouble with that is that you can't do or change anything with just thoughts. But add action into the equation and the outcome can be different. Let's do the maths. Positive thinking plus action equals a change. Whatever it is, if the change is significant, if it's worthwhile, then it will have to take time, effort and homework from you.
Hi, I'm Chrissy B, and my show is all about improving your mental health and being happy. Join me every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 10 p.m. on my channel Sky 203. Visit chrissybshow.tv for more information and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Chrissy B Show. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Chrissy B Show and on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show.
Hi, it's Rachel here with another week of Through Faith, It's Possible. Now, in this section, we like to show how faith can change the course of your life. So I'm here today with our live guest, Tawonge, who's going to tell her story on how faith changed her life. Hi, Tawonge.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. And would you like to tell your story to the viewers today on how faith changed your life?
Okay, so the way that faith changed my life is when it was in my family. So we came to this country when I was really young, and my dad was the first one that came. But he received his permanent leave to remain in the country, but it was a struggle for me, my mum and my two older brothers. And every time we would make failed attempts to the Home Office and things just wouldn't work out, but we didn't understand why, because we did everything the correct way, everything, all the applications we ever did was correct. We didn't come here like legally, we didn't do any of that stuff. We came here, we did the process, but every time we made attempts to try to receive or remain in the country, the applications would always be declined, I mean. And we also had like just different solicitors, lawyers, but nothing worked. But when I found faith, I just remembered the word of God, and I said, no, my life has to change. There's no way that things can remain this way. So I put God to the test, and things just changed, and my family now has the indefinite leave to remain in the country.
Wow, that's so brilliant. So was it a gradual process, or was it quite fast?
It was actually fast from when it actually happened, because even on the day that we received it, I didn't realise what was going on, because I thought we would just go into the Home Office to like renew our visa or something. But my mum was like, no, we're here to receive our indefinite leave to remain. So it happened, and when we went, there was no one there. It was just us and like another family, and then it was quicker than we expected to receive it.
Yeah. That's great. Another great success story. Thank you so much for sharing that. And if you at home are going through any similar issues at all, please don't hesitate to get in touch with one of our advisors. They're always here to listen, and you can call them at any time at 0207 686 6300. Now, that's it for this week, so we'll see you next time. And for now, it's back to the studio.
Welcome back to Finding Answers, and you just saw that it is possible through the power of faith to change your life around. So don't carry the burden all by yourself. You know what's the problem with people? You know, look, please, look at me. Pay attention here, please. Do you know what's the problem with most people? Is because the pride is so much inside their hearts, they don't want to cry out for help. There are many people who say, I can do everything on my own. And if you stop to think about your life and you have tried to do everything on your own, maybe you have been failing, you have not been able to reach your targets, your goals. If you cry out for help in God, you can be sure that this power will be upon you to give you the direction for your life to change. You just saw this testimony, it's possible. And the same, I tell you, it's possible to change your life around. And to prove you that, let's go now to our live guest that is here with us tonight, Lawrence, and let's hear his story. How a man that was brought up from a foster care into a family, and then not having happiness inside his house, lots of problems. Let's hear this story now with our live guest.
It's pushing me for the rest of the week, so it's like a boost.
Things were really tight.
Today, the way I see myself is completely different.
Hi, welcome back to Finding Answers, and here we are with Lawrence.
Hey,
Once more, good evening.
Good evening, Pastor.
How are you doing today?
I'm great.
Today you're strong.
Yes.
Your life's changed.
Yes.
We are also here with Pastor Christian. Good evening, Pastor Christian.
Good evening, Pastor. Good evening.
You know, this subject is very important because when there is no family, I believe there is no happiness because God is the one who created family.
Yes.
So we find that many people are suffering nowadays with family issues.
Yes. Actually, it is one of the biggest problem of many, right? Because if you think about it, if a person has a family problem, it can lead to others. They used to say that if you are not successful inside the house, you cannot be successful outside. And this makes a lot of sense because if a person is struggling inside the house, they will bring this problem anywhere they are. If you have problems in the family, for example, how can you focus in your work, right?
True.
You may be there working, but in your head, you know, you are just there messed up, and it's going to bring troubles in your finances and everything else. So family may be a very complicated business, Pastor, but it can be a very big blessing as well.
Yeah, it is the greatest blessing of all, you know. I'm so happy for the family that I have. Praise God for that, right?
There is peace there.
Yeah, there is. There is peace because there is God's presence. You know, it's not because we are special men or unique. We are not. We are just normal men like everybody else. But we discovered that through the power of faith, it's possible to have a healthy family.
Right.
And you didn't have that faith in the beginning of your life, right?
No.
Neither your mom had that faith, right?
No.
So tell us, how was your relationship with your mom that time?
At the beginning, my relationship with my mom was more or less just, I didn't really have a relationship, if I could say. You know, it was just, I was just a kid running up and down, going to school, then come back home. Like, there wasn't much affection, if I should say. You know, it was just more or less, oh, hi, Mom, and go to my room, watch a movie, sit down.
So you didn't have a good communication inside your house?
Yes, no, I didn't know. And of course, this just like, I didn't really see a good example, you know, like, you know, as a kid, you grew up in that environment, so you don't really see how your family lifestyle should be.
Yeah, but did you had a father figure in your house?
No, it was just my mother at the time.
So your mother was a single mother?
Yeah, and my auntie as well.
Okay.
And so things just kind of built up since then. And being a kid, and I was quite new to the country as well. So of course, my mom would, you know, as part of the culture, she would hit me, you know, for being violent at school and etc. And, you know, I think that built a lot of frustration in her. And when I'll do anything silly...
So you were a naughty boy when you were young?
Yes, I would say, yeah. And she would take her anger out on that situation, and then she would just beat me even much more. And it got to a point where I wasn't really well educated, if I should say. I wasn't the smartest, but I didn't really, you know, search for ways in order to be smart, and she didn't like that. She would come, I would come home from school, and she would just beat me more, say, oh, look, you're smart. Like, no, you're not smart. Like, you're not even pushing to be smart. You're not going to the library. You're not going to after-school classes.
So you didn't like school too much then?
I did like school, but, you know, I didn't have that family to teach me how to become that educated person.
So it's like they are demanding you to be better without teaching you.
Yeah.
They're expecting you to be up here, but not giving you the necessary things for you to be up here, the support.
Exactly. And you know, being into this country, I didn't really know what a library was. Of course, I knew how a library was, but I never really understood the importance of going to the library, and you know how to get involved in it, and how to actually start a good education.
So, because of all these problems, what else did it create in you?
Then it created within me, I think, a kind of grudge, if I should say. I hated my mom. Like, I wanted to run out the house, you know. She even knew that if I could reach the door handle, I would run out, you know, and it got to one day is that, you know, we were in the room and she asked me to get something from the bedroom and I couldn't find it. And she said, if I find it, you know, something's gonna happen. And I was like, okay. And, you know, I searched, but I couldn't find it. She came and found it and she literally hit me so much and she punished me in front of a friend.
So how old were you at that time, more or less? Do you remember?
I was 13, 12.
13, 12.
Yeah.
How old are you now, sorry to ask?
I'm 22.
You're 22?
Yes.
It's funny, it's not funny, it's the wrong word. I can't say it's funny. But it's amazing to see that, you know, you are saying this story, but I know that many people watching us right now, they are going through the same similar problem. Because your mother didn't know how to raise you. She was desperate, I believe she was desperate.
Yes,
you understand?
Yes, I would agree.
And when a person is desperate, she only tries to do whatever comes to her mind.
Yeah.
And then that's why we find violence, that's why we find, you know, a mother telling the child, you know, how can a mother, you carried a child for 9 months and then after you can say, I don't love you. You know, you sacrifice so much to say I don't love you. I don't think that there's no love. The problem is that the person is so in much pressure that she does not know how to handle the situation.
How to express herself, né?
Yeah.
Because, like you said, she was the only one who raised you, right?
Yes.
So there are many, how do we call it? Single parent, right?
Yeah.
Single parent, and imagine the pressure. They have to stand as two persons, a father and a mother. And like you said, I don't believe that she hates you. She wants the best, but she doesn't know how to give it to you, and it's a problem because it affected you as well.
Yes.
Instead of putting you up, she was actually doing the opposite, putting you down, to the point that you had even grudges. You couldn't understand why she was doing that because you were very young, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't understand. And, you know, and I would just feel like you know, I was so angry. And I thought, you know, I would hit her, but of course, you just kind of bypass that. And, yeah.
Lawrence, hold that thought for a minute, okay?
Yeah.
Because we are going to go to a short break. And I want to call your attention because we are going to see the action cleansing therapy. It's a work that it's done to help people have addictions. So please, if you are going through an addiction, you have someone in your family, in your house that's going through, pay attention to what Pastor Roland has to say, and you will see how you can benefit through the power of faith.
Do the maths. Changing your life is not as simple as changing your hairstyle, your shirt, or rearranging the furniture in your living room. You're talking about years of deep-rooted habits, behaviours and problems that are not going to change overnight. Many may say, think positively, but the trouble with that is that you can't do or change anything with just thoughts. But add action into the equation and the outcome can be different. Let's do the maths. Positive thinking plus action equals a change. Whatever it is, if the change is significant, if it's worthwhile, then it will have to take time, effort and homework from you.
Well, my friends, here we are to find out how a person can overcome addiction. Is it possible to beat up this problem? Let's find out how. Hi, my friend.
Hi, how's it going?
What's your name?
Clinton.
Clinton, tell me, you had addictions before?
Yes, I
Which
did.
kind?
I had addictions to drinking, smoking weed, partying, pornography, masturbation, and
Several. The list goes on.
Yeah, it can go on.
And tell me, which kind of addiction amongst these ones you said was the worst for you? Like,
I think
got you hooked?
I think the most difficult one out of all of them was definitely the pornography and the masturbation, because as a young person growing up, that's a lot of that's like the main thing that young people go through. Like you have access to internet, and then from there, it just carries on.
But you said drinking and
smoking weed
as well.
Yeah.
I understand that drinking and smoking is a kind of element that involves this addiction.
Yeah.
What doesn't happen in pornography? There is no element that involves pornogaphy. But you can say that you were as much addicted to pornography as to weed and drinking.
Yeah, because like for example, when you're young, you're amongst friends who are negative influences. So because of that, like your friends will influence you to, oh yeah, come, let's go to the party, oh come, let's drink, because they themselves will be drinking, smoking weed, so you get caught up in the moment. Before you know it, you'll just find yourself ending up like, always drinking, always smoking, always like, even if like nothing's happening, you always have that need in your mind, like, oh, I need to drink something today, oh, I need to smoke, oh, I need to do something today, you're always in that state of need, if I can say.
And that, for addiction in pornography, was running exactly the same as drinking and weed.
Yeah.
How bad was the situation? How deep did you go with it?
I would say, for example, it was very difficult because, like, for example, like, especially, walking, on the road as a normal person, and then when you look at women, it's like you have X-ray vision. You'll see them naked. You're there, you're trying to focus, but you can't focus. Or, like, for example, you're always in, how do I say, that state of emptiness. Like you have to like fill yourself with some kind of stimulation, excitement or adrenaline. So for example, your call your friend, today, what we're doing today, let's go out today, we'll go out drinking, smoking weed, we smoke weed before we go to the parties, like we do so much crazy things just to get that rush. But sometimes I'll go home feeling low, feeling depressed, feeling, like so much things going on in my mind, like, saying to myself, like, listen, like, this is life, what can I do? This is me, let me just accept it and just let life go on as it is.
But seeing life going astray, did you try to stop?
No. I would say, like, for example, the thought didn't really come to my mind. The only thing that I understood in life was, okay, as a person, you always want to better yourself. But, in terms of like, oh yeah, let me stop, nah. Like, I didn't really have that in my mind because, when you're amongst people like, that are constantly doing it, like that will never cross your mind. The only thing that will come in your mind is like, oh yeah, how much can we do in a day? Or, let's do more, let's do this, let's do something crazy. Always something to like top what you was doing before.
Normally we say that addiction leads us to bad things.
Yeah.
Can you describe a worst day that addiction took you in?
I would say, for example, the worstest thing that, it took me, like for example, I remember I got drunk. But I got drunk to the point like where, I couldn't really distinguish what was what. So I ended up in a situation where I almost raped a girl. So like, for example, we was both drunk and, I was like forcing myself upon her kind of thing. So I think that's the moment where I realized like, nah, like this is too much. Like, why am I getting drunk to the point of like, almost raping a person or, doing crazy things? Like it didn't make sense. So, from there I realized, nah, I need to find a way to, stop. But going to uni afterwards, it was just like, you got normal rules, like, you can do anything you want, and the list goes on.
Well, they say that there is no solution for addiction, that once an addict, always an addict. I think that was not your case because you said you overcame it.
Yeah.
Tell me how.
Well, like, the funny thing is, like, during when I went to my uni, like, this was like around the first year, I came across, one of my uni friends and etc. So, as an outgoing person, like when someone invites me to somewhere, I would say, oh, okay, let me just go there out of curiosity anyways. So, he brought me into a place where, it was, how do I say, inspirational, if I could say. Like, the place, they were talking about positive things and like, life development and things like that. So I was like, that's something new. Like, I never heard about something like this before. So, I gave her a try. I was like, let me keep coming, because I've never come across, a place like, that speaks about positivity or, you know, making it in life and things like that. So I was like, all right, cool, let me come, you know, to like see what they're talking about. Then later on, you know, that's when, you know, I started learning, you know, the method about using faith, you know, like people will talk about using faith, that, and I was like, what's this? What's faith? You know, I've never heard of
Sounds something abstract
Yeah,
that
like-
you can't touch on it. But
yeah, because all my life growing up, I never come across a word like that. I was just like, faith, like, that's something you hear about maybe in a TV show or movie or something like that, but I've never come across it like that. So, you know, when I learnt about, you know, using this method about using faith and such, you know, I started seeing things moving forward in my life, you know. Then bit by bit, you know, I was like, okay, let me use this faith to, you know, stop my addictions. You know, if they say that, you know, you can use your faith to do so many things, I was like, alright, cool, let me see if I can, you know, overcome
apply
my
this in your
exactly.
life
Yeah,
and
so
see if it works.
exactly.
Tell me in your words, did it work?
It did.
Did it
It was one of the best decisions I made in my life, you know, like
Drinking, weed,
All of it.
pornography, masturbation, everything went away?
everything, trust me.
For how long are you clean?
I'm clean for 4 years now.
4 years.
Yeah.
4 years
Yeah.
that you can say that clean
Yeah.
from everything.
Yeah.
From the elements and from what is addiction, but no element.
Yeah,
Wow, in your opinion, there is a solution then for addiction?
there is.
What would you say for those who are addicted and can't control themselves?
I would say, you know, find a way to use faith. You know, like, as crazy as it may sound, trust me, it works.
Thank you very much, Clinton, for your story.
Thank you.
Well, my friends, there you have it. There is a way out. There is a solution for this problem called addiction. If you want to know more how you can overcome, give us a call. 020-7686-6300. Let's go back to the studio.
How great it is to see people overcoming addiction. And if you want to as well, follow the advice of Pastor Roland and you'll find that it's possible to come out of that, you know, chain that has been in your life. Maybe your family has been going through that addictions on and on, on and on. It's time to put an end. You can put an end to that situation if you want. So if you want, look for help and you will find it. The Bible says, seek and you shall find. Knock and the door will be open. Ask and you shall receive. So if you have faith in these words, look and you shall find an answer for your life. As we are talking here tonight with our guest, Lawrence. Lawrence, in the last segment, we asked you to hold your thought, to say what was the most difficult thing in your life. Was it the fact that you had that relationship with your mother, or you had another problem besides that created other problems?
I think that created other problems as well. Because since that incident happened, I went to school the next day. I told the teacher, listen, I'm not going back home. I can't go back home because what she done to me the night prior. And they put me in an emergency care home. And, you know, I stayed there for like 6 months. Then I moved again to another foster carer. Then I kept moving again. So I think I moved around 5 times to different homes. And if you could imagine, that's different family, different personality, different culture. And, you know, I grew that self-dependence on myself. You know, when situations will happen, I keep it to myself because I thought, this is how life is meant to be.
You thought you didn't have anyone to support you?
No.
In reality, even though the people wanted to support you, giving you another chance, but you never thought that truly you had the help of someone, because what you felt inside of you was an emptiness.
Yeah.
Like you said before, a grudge.
Yeah, and even Pastor, like, you know, like back then, I didn't see anything wrong with it. You know, it seemed normal, if that makes sense. Because I didn't have an example. So, you know, me being away from my family was great. Like it didn't really affect me, you know, being around different people. I was kind of excited, oh, it's different food, different culture. And, you know, gradually, the social services allowed me to see my mother. And, you know, I was scared. How can a child be scared of seeing them? I was scared to see her because I knew how she was before. I thought that she might, get angry, say, oh, look at this, So I was scared to see my mom. But then I saw her, then eventually I reached 16 and I was able to see her. But even then, I've built that relationship where I didn't really care too much about family. My friends, I met new friends and I cherished them so much. Like, go to their house, I would sleep over. They were like my everything. And my mother wasn't even in my mind. Like, she wasn't even my thoughts, nothing.
But did you consider your mother important?
No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I didn't know.
That's the situation of many people. That's why people suffer today, because the one that you said, or the one that's supposed to be the pillar, let's say, of your house,
yes.
Well, first of all, you didn't have already a father.
No.
And then secondly, it was your mother. And the one that you had the most issues with was her. So it's obviously, normally they say the best solution for many people is to run away.
Yes. Yeah. And I believe that the reason why you became attached to your friends is because those things that you don't receive in the house with your mom, you are getting it from your because
attention.
The attention, exactly.
Like teaching as well,
It's like they became brothers,
Yeah,
like
it's
closer to you, The band of brothers, right? So it's like, and please, you who are watching us now, you have to understand that we are not saying that your mom is bad.
No.
It's just that maybe because of the pressure that happened to her, raising you up alone. Many mothers, they are like this. It's hard. It's very hard, and she doesn't know how to care. So she was lost as well, right? She wanted to do the right thing, good intention, good heart. But Pastor, this is really a big problem, and it causes young people to grow up like this, having grudges inside of them.
And grudges, fear of even talking to her mother,
Can you
his
imagine
mother,
that?
in your case, right? How can you be afraid to talk to your mother, one who gave you birth?
My goodness.
Right?
And Pastor, even adding on to that, I was shy.
Yeah.
It's funny how, with my friends, I'm very open. I'll speak to them about everything, which is not a wrong thing. I want to say it's a wrong thing, but, I didn't have that with my mother. But of course, as I always say, I didn't see an example of how it's meant to be. So I just went with the flow
Did it change?
Yes,
Situation.
it's changed.
So, Lawrence, hold your thoughts there, because when we come back in this next segment, is going to tell you how the situation changed with his mom. So stay tuned. We're going for a break. We'll come back after. And I would like to invite you as well to prepare your glass of water, because in the last moment of this program, we are going to say a prayer on your behalf. You that's going through problems, suffering, crying, tears, get ready, because I believe that the moment of prayer will help you wherever you are.
Where DKW, a different kind of woman. So I want to find out if you might have dyslexia.
My memory's not too good today.
And it's almost like you have to be this superwoman.
Years and years ago when I watched Titanic, and obviously My Heart Will Go On came on, and it just brought me back to that time.
And I was with 4 other sisters. Lord have mercy. So you know how they were. You're not gonna go over there and say nothing.
Come on, a little closer now, and let me know that you're mine. Woo!
It's going to be your turn to do your macaroons. No competition.
We're here at Britain's Top Designer 2015.
This is DKW. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Follow My Channel's updates on Facebook. Like your favourite videos and see pictures of your favourite artists. Access our Twitter @MyChannelUK and get to know what's on with My Channel. Visit tvmychannel.com and be connected to our world. My Channel, a whole new world of entertainment.
If I tell you a story and you like that story, what kind of story is it?
It's a comedy.
No. Manchester
United.
I'm a pro.
Although I'm Chelsea. Love talk, time to communicate.
No, okay. Say that word, but differently.
It's time to communicate. Right, so we are in a relationship.
What were you doing? You're not supposed to tell me the word.
We are
in a marriage?
Yes.
Okay.
And we are very serious about it. So what does that say?
A serious marriage?
No. It has to do with your brain.
Intelligence.
What?
Intelligent love.
Yes. See, I'm getting good at this.
Love Talk on my channel, Sky 203, every Saturday, 3 p.m.
Hi, we are back to our program Finding Answers, and let's finalize now this live guest testimony and how he was able to turn, his life around from hatred towards the mother, a grief, sorrowing side, to a change. Let's hear how about the change, Lawrence. So we heard about all the bad things that has happened between you and your mom. What was the turning point of that situation? Did you have to change? Your mother had to change? What happened?
I think more significantly, I had to change. And, before that change, I wanted to have, that kind of, that thing, that mentality of, my mom wasn't there, but I still made it. I wanted that mentality so much, but, coming to the church, and hearing testimonies about family, hearing my family changed, my situation, my family changed, I'm happy with my family. It was just like, whoa, what? It was so different. I felt weird. It's like, why is everything about family? And, within myself, I would never say, Mom, I love you.
That was a hard thing for you to say.
That feels weird, isn't it?
Cringy, weird, and just like, oh. And that is something I had to battle with myself, because I'd be okay, I'm gonna say it now, I'm gonna say it now. I just...
it's amazing, because many people say, it's so easy to say I love you. Well, if you go through a situation that you went through, Pastor Christian, and to say that I love you, it's overcoming, because he had a grudge, he had a hatred, you carried all these inside you. And when you speak now about your mom, you open a big smile. You don't look,
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, he looks lively, different. You can see, you are watching us this program now, you can see how his reaction is. Because, you feel like a burden was lifted from your shoulders.
Yes.
And that you managed to do that because of the power of intelligent faith.
Yes. Yeah, and also being in a situation where I saw examples. Because, as I said, I didn't see what it meant to have a good family. Of course, TV shows you, but when you actually see, life's transformation, like in church.
Inspired you, right?
Yes.
And the testimonies showed you.
Yeah.
Like I believe your testimony now is inspiring many people.
Yeah.
Many people are watching us right now who are going through problems with their mom, with their families. You are watching us today. Maybe you say, is it possible for me? Well, ask Lawrence. Ask Lawrence. Lawrence, was it possible to change the situation?
Yes, it was possible.
So how is it today?
How is it today? Well, today, I tell Mom that I love her. It's a bit, it's like, wow. Like, I really mean it this time.
It's amazing to see a big man of your size with that big smile just to say, I love you, Mom.
Yeah.
Only God can make a transformation.
And like when I talk to her now, even till now, I'm like, wow, I'm talking to my mom like this. Like how I am now is how I am with my mom. Like before, I'd be okay, like I'll be on my phone.
Closed, yeah.
Yeah, and now I kind of talk to her, I laugh at her jokes, she laughs at my jokes, and you know, she calls me, I talk to her, okay, Mum, how's everything going? You know, is it quite fine? And you know, now that I've got siblings, you know, I'm there kind of supporting her. And she wants to stay over a lot. I'm like, Mom, no, I've got work. She says, okay, just come over after work, eat this, do this. I'm like, Mom, it's all right, you know. And, you know, I can see that it's getting better.
Day by day.
Definitely getting better. And as of now, it's like I'm knowing who I am, you know.
So, the changes happened because you found the faith in God.
Yes.
If it wasn't that faith in God, where would you be today?
I think who I'd be, I'll still be that person who had a good friends, but you know, they were my family. I didn't have a family of my own, and I'm not sure how my mom would have been if I didn't find that faith. Because I think she needs me, not to support and to help her, and to be.
Yeah. Today you are able to share God's love. God's
Definitely.
love is in you, you share with your mom, and that you can see it very clear in your face when you talk about that.
Yeah.
Pastor Christian, is a blessing.
It is.
My friend, do you want to have the same? Get your glass of water ready. We are going to say a prayer right now on your behalf. And wherever you are, it doesn't matter your religion, doesn't matter your background, doesn't matter where you came from, where you are from. It doesn't matter. It's you and God. You can be sure that He will touch you right now. Let's go for the moment of prayer.
My Father, in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, we thank you for this great testimony. We can see that in the life of Lawrence. This is something he treasures inside of him. And I understand this. We understand this because to have a family, a relationship with your mom so close like this, my God, it's a dream for many people. Maybe this person who is watching us right now, my Lord, they're watching us, and maybe they're even crying because as they watch, they see the happiness in his face. And they just wonder, is it possible for this to happen to me as well? My problem is my family. I do not know what to do anymore. And they are there, my Lord. You can see them. So in my prayer right now, my God, in our prayer, we ask you to visit this house. Visit them. Let this house, my Father, be an extension of your kingdom. Your kingdom is a kingdom of peace. It's a kingdom of unity. And maybe in the house of this person is the complete opposite, my Lord. There's only fights, misunderstanding, grudges, like Lawrence before. So there are these negative forces there in this house. But right now I ask you, heal this house. Heal this relationship. Put your peace inside, your love inside. And my Lord, if there's any spirit working against this family, causing this family to be divided, causing this family to be destroyed, we command this spirit to leave now in Jesus' name, and we determine that right now, my Lord, your peace enters and changes everything. My Lord, we present to you this water, and as we drink this, my Father, cleanse us. Let your power enter us in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. People, you can drink this right now and believe the power of God enters you in Jesus' name.
Amen. You see, it is possible to change your life around. If you want, I challenge you. Maybe you say, I think there is no solution for me. There is. It is possible through the power of faith, and in God, you will be able to turn that situation around. If you want, give us a call at 020-7686-6300 or email us at help@findinganswers.tv, and you will see that the power of God will be manifested in your life, and you too can have a happy family. May God bless you. See you next time.